Welcome to episode 33 of the No Scrubs podcast. I'm your host, Lewis. Joined with me today, a man who rolled up his sleeves. Stephen, how you going?
I got sweaty arms. I got sweaty baby arms.
Look at this man trying to show off his gun.
I got sweaty baby arms to go with my little baby hands.
I will admit, I went to a wedding on the weekend, and I'd skipped a couple gym workouts, and I was like, okay, well, I'm going to do chest and tricep for the weddings, and then right at the end, I was like, you know what? I'm going to do one set of biceps just to get a little pump on before the wedding, just so maybe I look a little bigger. Alex was like, did you really? I was like, yeah. I was like, well, you wouldn't even see it through a dress shirt anyway, but I was like, it made me feel a little better.
Oh yeah, dude. There's been times where like I've already done like an isolated arm workout, but then I've got like an event later on that week, and I'll be like, I need to get in the zone, and doing just arms in general just gets me psyched, and I'm not like limping from it. So unless I'd done arms and someone's like, oh, here's my newborn hemophiliac baby, would you like a hold? Sure. Oh fuck.
So I understand though now why a lot of these massive gym bros get like body dysmorphia and that, because you see what you look like after like you do a big workout and you're like, bro, I'm looking beefy, and then like by the evening you're like, bro, what the fuck, I'm like half the size now. You're like, the fuck is this? It is pretty crazy that their pumps must be absolutely fucking massive, and they must see themselves looking so deflated the next day, just comparatively.
Well,
so I'm not that level, but I've been like, I kind of get it now. I kind of get it.
Two gym stories. Well, one, it was just like a cringe reel I saw, but I'm always humbled when I go to the gym, even when I be like, yeah, I'll put on some weight, and then I just go in there and I see some guy like 4 times my size, and I was just like, it's good to stay humble.
Yeah, you gotta see a little bit of that, don't you? Like I got that yarn from our old mate Johnson. Went to the gym with him for a few weeks, and it was going well. And then there was a woman that was on the bench press right beside us, and look, we'd only been going for a few weeks, right? It wasn't like we were getting there, and this woman like massively outbenched us, and it demoralized him so much he never went back to the gym with me. And I'm like, you can't do that, man. You can't have this woman who's half our size outbench us. She could have been going to the gym for fucking 3 or 4 years or something.
Exactly.
We don't know. Also, maybe that was her first day and she was just a fucking unit. But you can't just be like, oh, nah, a woman outlifted me, bro. That's thinking like that is cringe. You need to be like, oh fuck, this woman outlifted me. I wanna get to that point. I wanna outlift her. Take that as motivation.
I remember doing some deadlifts, and then like a lady like next to me, she was doing like deadlifts, and she had like 2 plates more than me. It's like, fuck yeah! I was like, I can't wait to get to that stage.
Yeah.
That's a
better mindset to be in.
The other gym things, I remember seeing this like cringe reel of these guys going to the gym, but they're like all on. Do you know what's worse than being on gear?
A kick in the nuts.
Absolutely. No. Giving birth through your balls. No. Synthol.
Oh yeah. You know how I know about that?
How?
The Binding of Isaac item. That's the only reason I know it.
But I was just seeing this guy who was just like, his arms have been injected to fuckery, and he's meant to be doing the preacher curls, but he's like leaning forward and lifting like this, and then the weights end up sliding off. I was like, dude, body dysmorphia sucks, man.
Yeah.
Sometimes you will get sometimes you're not working hard enough. I can relate. I can sometimes be lazy, but sometimes you just cucked genetics.
Yeah. Absolutely. Sometimes it do be like that. So
Oh,
we
alrighty.
got a wee bit wee bit to talk about today. So let's just start with the Xbox partner preview. So we missed this by 1 day. We were 1 day off. So we'll go through that. So the first game that was shown was Hunter the Reckoning Death Wish, and this is a reboot essentially, or like a reboot or a sequel. Well, I think it's more of a reboot because it seems like a very different type of game than the original. So it's a first-person shooter. It looks like there might be some stealth. It seems like it was pretty early, in development. It showed like a police officer who's a vampire. The trailer was actually pretty cool. He walks in to see this woman, and then he got walkie talkies. He's like, "There's no one here." It's just so, and then you see like the vampire eyes. You're like, "Oh shit!" Yeah. So then you're essentially seeing them people go into like a police station and start killing these vampires, which is it looked cool. We'll have to see a bit more of what the game is about because it's releasing in 2027 or summer 2027. It's also made by Take-On, who did the RoboCop Rogue City, and it's been published by Nacon, who we reported a while back was going to be shutting down, but apparently not. So it sounds like they are looking for more funding to kind of keep the doors open. So we'll see, because it sounds like I've got a lot of games to publish in the coming couple of years. So yeah, what do you think of this?
It was all right. I'll probably have to wait a little bit longer, see a little bit more. But did you play the RoboCop game?
No, but it did look cool.
Hmm.
I didn't play that or the original Hunter the Reckoning for the record. Yeah, it was a good trailer. It's still like a franchise that I haven't really had interest in myself, but I was just like, oh, cool, I'll keep an eye out. Next, we had a trailer for Wuthering Waves. They were indeed Wuthering. Coming to Xbox in July, so I believe this is a gacha anime game. So also, I'm like, what is this? I'm like, what is this game? It's doing so many things. Characters were flying around, going through like rings to like speed boost, and they're riding on motorbikes. They're swimming around as like a fish.
A little platforming section.
Yeah, there's some 2D and some 3D platforming, and then there's some 3D like action combat. I've heard the combat's really good, but I was like, I don't know. I don't really understand what the game is, because it's like a million things. Makes me wonder if they were like, because something I found like Nier Automata, I found is like, this game's trying to do a million things, and I thought it did them all kind of okay, and I was like, whatever, right? And I feel like they want to be the gacha Nier Automata.
Yeah, that's a fair statement. I mean, I don't know, man. As soon as I saw it, I was just like, oh, the platforming section looks good. This is like, is this Wuthering Waves? Oh, it's Wuthering Waves.
Wuthering Waves.
It is interesting that like the gacha games, the mobile and PC simultaneous release games, they've just got a level of polish that some of the AA games are lacking. Like I remember playing, and I still get the itch to play Honkai, but awesome setup. Cinematics are great. They even have like a roguelike mode. So, yeah, it's just like, I don't want to say another gacha, because it's been out for a bit, but I was just like, I think I'm only going to allow myself to play like one anime gacha slop game, and that's Honkai, but I haven't touched it in like maybe a year.
Yeah, that's fair. It's something that doesn't really interest me at all. Like we talked about last night on stream, I played the Dragon Ball Z like Dokkan battle. I played that for quite a while, and that was pretty generous with the currency. I used to play the Fire Emblem mobile game as well, which was pretty generous with the currency as well. And like these are gacha games of sorts, but I don't mind if they're kind of generous with it. Like Genshin Impact, I played for a little bit, but as soon as you beat the first major boss, you hit the grind like immediately, and I'm like, I'm out. Just the currency kind of just dried up, and it was like, yeah, we want you to grind for this, and I'm like, I ain't doing it, chief.
Yeah, that's sort of what happened with me with Dragon Ball Legends. I used to play a lot of that, and it was nice. It was the story because it was like an ancient Saiyan you're playing as, Charlotte, and I was like, I want to see where this is going. And he eventually gets to like, he gets Super Saiyan, Super Saiyan 2, Super Saiyan 3, and later Super Saiyan God. But you'll speed through the story, and it's just like, cool. Now you have to finish all those levels on like the hard difficulty. And I was like, nah, I don't want to.
I don't wanna.
And I know that they did the thing of what the King of Fighters mobile game did is they brought it to PC as well. And so I was like, oh shoot, I want to play Dragon Ball Legends on my computer. I still have it installed on my phone, but I was like, yeah, make some space. And then when I finally play it, I play it for 10 minutes and I'm like, nah, uninstall. No, there was nothing in particular about it. I was just like, nah, not feeling it.
Nah, can't be done. Not doing it. No.
Couldn't be me. And it wasn't me.
Next game was The Expanse, Osiris Reborn. So it's coming in 2027. It's a third-person sci-fi shooter. Guys, they made Mass Effect again. So I believe The Expanse was first was a book series, then it was a fairly popular TV series, and now a game. My boss is super into it because it's hard sci-fi, so it's sci-fi that's based on like real science. So people who are like massive sci-fi nerds are real into it. Well, so he said like, oh yeah, the show starts off real slow. The first 2 seasons are a bit of a slog, but once you get to season 3, it's really good. You're like, bro, I'm not going to sit through 2 seasons of a show I'm not into. But this game looks really good. Like Mass Effect fans eating good because there's this and there's that other game. Why can't I remember the name of it? Coming out, the one with Matthew McConaughey. But yeah, Mass Effect fans, if you're not going to get anything good from BioWare, at least you can have The Expanse, Osiris Reborn. So also coming out 2027, so still a way away. Did these games ever kind of appeal to you?
Nah, I remember back in the day, all the boys, well, a fair amount of the boys in our friend group were about Mass Effect on 360, and it just wasn't a franchise that hooked me. And I looked at this and I was sort of like, cool, sci-fi shooter. There's a market for that. It ain't me, but it looks good.
Yeah, I tried with the first Mass Effect a long time ago, and it just didn't hook me. And then I was like, oh, the second one's way better. Try that, and I started playing the second one, and immediately was like, oh, this is way better. But I haven't played the first one, so I picked up the remaster trilogy for $10, and I'm like, if I ever want to play it, it's there.
Yeah.
So,
or you could do what you can metagame it and just watch YouTube videos of the first game.
Yeah, but what if they don't make choices that I want? Not that it matters once you get to the end of the third game.
No, they should do this YouTube series of like I don't know if it'd be an ARG, but it's just like if you chose this choice in your game, link to this video below. If not, link to this one.
They used to do that with those annotations. You could actually do like a choose your own adventure, but you can't do it anymore, which is a shame. Hopefully they could bring that back in a way. That'd be really cool. the next game is Grave Seasons. So this is coming out August 14th of this year. So it had really cute pixel art. It's got like a high third-person camera. And at the start, you look at it and you're like, oh, this looks kind of like a Stardew Valley kind of game, you know, tending to your crops, doing little jobs and things like that. And then people start dying.
Yeah.
And disappearing. And it's this murder mystery kind of game. And then right at the end, you really briefly see like some kind of monster. Dude, game looks really cool. And while it's not traditionally my kind of game, I was like, this is a fucking great trailer. This looks up your alley. What do you reckon?
Oh no, I'm keen on it. Because yeah, at first I was like, oh, yeah, I don't mind another cozy game, especially when the pixel art's like real good. But yeah, as you said, when people start dying, it's like, oh, you got me.
Yeah, you do the cozy game thing, and then it changes into its own thing, which is awesome. Like, and I know it's almost a little cliche in a way. It's like, hey, here's like Cult of the Lamb is kind of like, oh, here's this little cozy like Animal Crossing like game. Oh, except you're a twisted cult leader, and then there's a roguelike, and why I enjoyed that. So like, I liked the cozy stuff more than I thought I would have, because there was a fun roguelike game for me to play, and then I would do that stuff when I get back to the base. If it was just one, like if it was just the base stuff, I wouldn't have cared for it. So yeah, they might be able to get me for this, but we'll see.
Did you, quick side note, I've been meaning to buy it, but I was initially put off by Cult of the Lamb for a really silly reason. Real silly. So, when the PS4 initially released, it had fuck all games. So, I got one of the free games, Don't Starve. Not a bad game. I was just terrible at it, and also just didn't have the patience. So I was just like, the entitled opinion of like, I spent X amount of $100 on this next gen console, and all I can play is this, and that fucking Marvel or DC MMO. And when I saw Cult of the Lamb, I was just like, oh, kind of the style reminds me of Don't Starve, and I was like, but over the more I saw of it, I was just like, no, I do want to play this game on special.
Yeah, Don't Starve never hit for me, but Cult of the Lamb did. So, and there's a heap of DLC for it now that I haven't played. Definitely worth a go. Next game, Serious Sam Shadowverse. This is coming 2026 as well. So it's a first-person shooter. It's five players fighting hordes of enemies. You're getting level ups and new perks, new weapons, fighting bosses. Soundtrack, the music sounded really good, and I was like, man, this looks fun. This looks like obviously, like, you know, there's a lot of stuff these days with friend slop that's popular. This is my kind of, and I know it's not what people refer to when they say friend slop, but this is my kind of friend slop, like Left 4 Dead, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah,
this is more my kind of where I like get with the boys, but you know, I don't mean I'm getting with the boys. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not saying I'm getting with them. It's not like that. But jump on Discord with the boys and talk shit and shoot enemies in the face. Serious Sam's always had a goofy humor to it as well, which I've always enjoyed. So it's a maybe if we can rope the boys into getting it. I think could be a bit of fun.
I'm keen. I mean, I want to do DT a service of, because for Christmas he got me some of the Serious Sam games. But the fact that it's like hordes, a nice horde mode, it looked real funny. I also loved how they showed those different. I'm not well versed in the Serious Sam lore, but it showed different Serious Samuels, and they have one of him as like a lizard man. I was like, hey, that's kind of cool.
Yeah, there's a lot of charm to it, eh?
So I'm looking forward to that.
The classic Serious Sam gamer moment where their anti-piracy measure was that one of the games would spawn an impossible to kill enemy that would just keep fucking hunting you down.
A scorpion. Pretty sure it was like a red scorpion.
Yeah.
and it was super
Yeah.
fast.
Have you ever seen that Pokemon one? It was like for maybe like Fire Red, and it's like you get to an NPC and that locks you out and it says buy the game or die.
Yeah. There's
Basic.
also, well, was playing Black and White through other means, and their anti-piracy. It took me a while to click. It was you choose your starter Pokemon, and when you beat someone, no experience.
That's hilarious. I bet people have done challenge runs on that as well, like how to, can you beat this game, like the pirated version of this game? Just there's one I saw with Spyro where the game starts becoming more and more unstable if you're playing a pirated version. So that's quite hilarious, and you have to like really hustle towards the end to just try to fucking get it done. Also, the boys are jumping on marathon, and I'm stuck here recording. Unbelievable. There'll be more to be said about marathon a little later.
I'm sure. While this is uploading, you can play with the boys.
Thanks, Mum. All right, next game, very Stephen coded, Stranger Than Heaven. So it's So they showed you a bit of third-person like action combat. They haven't given a date yet, but they showed now that there's 5 different eras that you get to play through. So 1915, 1929, 1943, 1951, 1965. And look, it looks very much like a Yakuza game, and the aesthetics, the vibes, and all of that. I don't know yet if are you the same character through all of these eras, and are you time traveling or what? Or is it different characters through each era? I'm not too sure just yet. But they've said more will be revealed on May 6th.
I would, if I was a betting man, I would say relatives.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Hey, all I gotta say is, I'm very excited. There's 2 particular eras in the game. Eras, not errors. Errors.
Error.
Error. That I think looked real cool was 1915, where the guy's just wearing that red, flowing shirt, and he's got like the knife and stuff. That looked cool. But also 1965.
I'm interested to see 1943. Just post World War II.
Oh, true.
I'm interested.
I wonder if
So
it's
43 and 51, they're pretty close to each other. So I wonder how much would change in those like 8 years, but who knows?
And I wonder if it's going to be the events that happen, well, things that happened are contained in its own universe, or it will, like, things that happen around the time will affect the vibe and the setting of each era. So that'll be interesting.
Yeah.
Very excited.
So May 6th, we'll get to see a little more, and hopefully we'll get to understand exactly what kind of game it is and a bit of the idea behind these different eras. And if it is, like you say, relatives, or it is little time travel, because, the game's name is Stranger Than Heaven. It could be something weird going on.
Because I remember when we've had like previews and showcases, you asked me, it's like, what are you looking forward to? What do you want to see? And it's like, yep. Stranger Than Heaven. So I'm really glad we got to see more.
Yeah, absolutely. So the next game, Super Meat Boy 3D. So it's a 3D platformer and really a sequel to the 2D platforming classic, Super Meat Boy. And it's out. Came out March 31st. Yeah, I'll have a little more to say about this game later. Anyway, this game, Forever Ago. This is coming out fall 2026. So it's a third-person narrative adventure game. It's very story-driven. Seems like a game about love and loss is kind of what I pieced together. You see a man driving across the country, and he's reliving all these memories and from places he's been before. He'd go to a spot. He'd look at his like album, like his photo album, and see a picture of him and his partner going to places, and so we can assume she's passed away. And it just looked very sweet, to be honest. I really like these types of games are not really my thing, but I was like, man, I really liked the look of this, the vibe of it. It's all really nice. What do you reckon?
It does look sweet, but I'm gonna give a no, not harsh, but my opinion. I would absolutely play this game if I was paying for Game Pass.
Yeah,
It's one of those
no, that's
games. It's one of those games where you'll see it. You're scrolling through Game Pass. It has a wealth of games, but none of them you want to play. And then you're just like, you, I want to try you. Come here.
yeah. I get that as well. Yeah, if you like look at it and you're like, if it's like $40, you'd be like, I don't know. But then you see it on Game Pass, you're like, yeah, fuck yeah, I'd give it a go.
What have I got to lose apart from my spare time?
The most valuable thing I have. But no, it looks cool. I'm definitely interested to see how it does anyway. Stuff like that. I'm a soft boy. That stuff, I like seeing stuff like that.
You want to be touched? Pause.
That too, to be honest. Next game was Ascent to Zero. So it's coming out July 13th of this year. So it's a top-down action roguelike, extremely fast-paced game as well. Pixel art I thought was really cute. There was some kind of anime kind of vibes in there as well. You're on a timer, so everything you do, you have to be doing fucking pretty hectic pace. There's some skill trees, so a bit of progression for each run as you go through. Unlockable weapons and stuff as well. I'm a little torn. I'm a little on the fence because it's just the gameplay looks so frantic, but the bits that look good, I thought looked really good. Definitely a game that I'll have to wait before I can really form an opinion on. But I'm interested, but not sold.
I'd say I'm a little bit more sold than you. Not because of the anime aesthetic. I like how it's like bright colours and stuff.
Wait.
But I don't know. I like the hectic and fast. So not gonna day one it, but you have my interest.
Yeah.
Ascend to wishlist.
It's got potential. I did wishlist that as well.
Yay.
Dispatch is coming to Xbox in sometime 2026. There's a game that's all about choices. It's that's the gameplay essentially. It's very narrative heavy. You're just making a bunch of choices, and you're a dispatch call operator for like a superhero company. So you're taking the calls to be like, oh, you want a hero to do this, and you're organising that. I believe the multiple love interests, that kind of thing as well. And the main character is voiced by Aaron Paul from Breaking Bad and BoJack Horseman. Had to shout out BoJack. I love BoJack. I mean, Breaking Bad I love as well, but BoJack.
We also have two YouTubers who voice characters in the form of Moist Critical and Jacksepticeye.
Top of the morning to you, lady. Yeah, it's cool. Visually as well, like art style aesthetic, really, really good, really slick. Yeah, so definitely cool for the Xbox gamers because I think you guys are the last ones to get it.
I'm absolutely going to get it. I do enjoy a narrative. Choices matter. I remember the two in like recent years. Well, actually, no. The first one was in recent years. The first Life is Strange. Adored that game. The second one was alright. Third one, I uninstalled. And the other choices mattered. Slay the Princess. So, yeah. And like you said, it's visually looks awesome. Pretty sure Moist Critical voices the hero with the bat head.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So,
I'm just having a look right now. Sonar. Makes a lot of sense for a bat.
So yeah, I will probably even cop this not on special.
He's like, "What's up, guys? It's
Poopy
Sonar
Farm
here. Yeah, that's it. So, I'm gonna go do this mission, and I'm gonna fight the bad guys and shove it right up their poopy butthole."
You found
like,
the mission. He's like, "You idiot! You absolute buffoon!"
Yeah.
These are clips. Those aren't clips. These are mags. You dummy.
There's a character like that in Apex Legends, and we're like, "God, you're insufferable." But she's like, "I'm a real hard military woman, Bangalore," and she'd be like, "These are is like clip something you put in your head. This is a magazine," and you're like, "Shut up." You know, a magazine's actually something that you read at the fish and chip shop when you're waiting for your order. This is a clip.
I had the magazine story.
Yeah, I bet those pages are stuck together.
No, at a fish and chip shop. Went there and
even worse.
So what they'll do is they'll cut the I think they'll cut the top off to stop people from like selling it, like stealing it and selling it. Yeah. And I was at a fish and chip shop and they had a metal hammer there.
Oh, sick.
And I was reading it, and as the order came out, I just found myself walking out with it.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah. I used to read Metal Hammer when I was in high school and I was working like my little part-time job, and I'd get my Metal Hammer magazine, and I got the Rise to Remain Bridges Will Burn EP as part of it. Dude, that EP is so fucking good. They released the full album and you're like, "Oh man, where's that raw fucking sound you had?"
Was that Bruce Dickinson's son's band?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's how I also heard of them.
Yeah, that EP was so good. It's way better than the album. It's unreal. And then they became really generic and just overproduced, and you're like, "Oh man, you guys had something real fucking cool here."
It's like, yeah, well, my daddy's a pilot and he makes money.
And then I think his next band was As Lions, and they were fine as well. Shame. There's so much potential. The next game, Alien Deathstorm, releasing in 2027. And it's a first-person sci-fi shooter, killing aliens. It looks like there might be a bit of narrative in this too, but I can't tell yet. It's still a ways out. But this is the developer of the Sniper Elite games, Rebellion. And they made what's the game they made recently? There was a game that was like kind of like Fallout, Atomfall. Yeah, Atomfall. A lot of people played it, really liked it as well. That was them branching out, doing something different. I thought this game looks cool. I'm interested. Definitely need to see a bit more. Need a bit more time. It's 2027, so it is way up. You know, but yeah. Cool. Probably not a Steven game.
No, this one sort of, it didn't grab me, and it sort of like exposed me for being a little bit, first-person shooter blind.
Yeah, I mean, I think though we all have games like I'm Mr. Shit on the anime games, you know, like everyone's got things that
yeah.
Everyone's got something that doesn't interest them. I mean, to be fair as well, there's like that really small percentage that of those anime games I do like, and I don't know how to describe the ones that stand out to me that end up being different. I don't know, but everyone's got things they like and don't like, so there's nothing wrong with that.
They're usually made by Square Enix, who give us both Final Fantasy and Dragon Quest.
Now we're talking. Finally, real Japanese games.
Finally, some good fucking food.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm interested to see a bit more. It's still not. I'm not sold yet, but it's worth wish listing. Keeping an eye on it. Here's a game that I think there's a good chance we end up playing.
Yeah.
Frog Squad, releasing June 2026. My first note is frogs. It's a friend slot game. It's a third-person platformer. Looks like it's got a bit of Lethal Company and a bit of Fall Guys in it.
Frog slop.
You're gathering food up for the Swamp King, and he essentially is just like, if you don't bring me the food, I'm gonna eat you. And you're like, oh shit, dude, this looks like, so you're just gathering up the food for him, and that's like your Lethal Company bringing your items back to the ship to sell. Yeah, man, this is aesthetic was great. I really, really liked it. The vibes were off the charts. I reckon we'll end up getting this.
Yeah, no. I'm keen because like they showed Alien Death Squad, and I was just like, I don't know, but colorful frog slop. I was like, yeah.
Does look like a lot of fun. So we'll keep our eyes on that one. This game, Bluey's Happy Snaps, released in fall 2026. The Bluey game. It looks like there's a bit of a colouring in book kind of element to it, and like a photo book where you're slowly filling out a photo book of things around the world. It's a kid's game. I don't have much to say about it because I'm not a child. I do not have children, so it is not a game for me. But is this a game you can see yourself playing with one of your kids?
It's definitely got more moving parts than the Peppa Pig game. Because literally the Peppa Pig game for PS5 is, move over to this side of the screen, talk to this person, move to the next side of the screen, talk to this person, achievement, this looks cool, and also Bluey has that gets a pass because it's one of those shows where, yeah, kid slop, but I don't know. There's the wording and the messages in it. Are like adults get it.
Yeah,
like there's this little tiny little Bluey rant. But I remember watching one episode and I was like, that was a fucking mean episode. Obviously, like I can't remember the dad's name. I'm not that invested, but he's got Bingo and Bluey, and like he's roughing around with Bluey, like chucking her around and stuff. She's loving it. And she goes to do it with Bingo, and she gets hurt, and then she's real sad about it, and then she's just like, she goes over to Mum, and Mum's like, "What's wrong?" It's just like, "Oh, Daddy hurt me." And it's just like, intention. It's like, no, we were roughing around and stuff. And she brings it up to the dad, and he's like, no, that's my fault. I forget that you're not, you're little. You're not your sister. You're not as old as your sister. So I need to, a little bit kid's gloves with you compared to your older sister. And I was like, hey, that was actually a really, really cool message. And yeah.
My only concern about Bluey, because now you got the Bluey adults, the adults that actually watch it, and like not just with the kids, and you're like, oh, these are going to be the next fucking bronies, aren't they?
I worked with someone who got like a Bluey tattoo, and I was like, hey, she's like, oh, I got a new tattoo. It was like, oh, Bluey. It's like, yeah. It's like, why?
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I feel differently. Like if it's like, here's a cartoon you grew up with, and you have this real soft spot for them. You're like, oh, it's cool, but it's like, bro, you're a 30-year-old man with no kids. Why are you watching Bluey?
Oh, if some like millennial, like our age got a tattoo when they were younger of like a Blue's Clue paw print, I could be like, oh yeah, no, I grew up watching it. Cool.
Yeah, I get that.
I wouldn't, couldn't be me, could not be me, but I see.
Steven's got a Blues Clues fucking tramp stamp, but it's both paws, mate. That's where Steven gets his lovers to put their hands.
Doggy style.
Slaps bass. Alright, next game, Stalker 2. Cost of Hope. So there's DLC for Stalker 2. My understanding, though, is they still have not fixed a bunch of things in the base game that need fixing. But yeah, Stalker 2 is a first-person shooter. It's kind of an immersive sim as well, in a way. It's made in Ukraine, and so it shows off a lot of, like, Eastern Bloc kind of architecture and stuff. A lot of grey, blocky-ass buildings. The creatures, it shows off some creatures that have turned from people as well. As you're fighting other soldiers, looks like there's some human experiments going on as well. Cool. The people I know who really like Stalker, they are fucking real into it. So it's cool. Doesn't not my thing, but yeah.
Nah.
Decent trailer.
Yeah, I was just like, oh, Stalker, that's a franchise I know about. It's cool that they released like a $300 board game. Though I will say the one part of that trailer I didn't like is which I think it zooms up on that like pink looking creature in the vat. I was like, oh.
Yeah, that was kind of gross, but cool. Steven watched a trailer. He'll see it and be like, this looks interesting. Then he sees a first person perspective and he's like, look, I'm not out yet. And as soon as they pull a gun up, he's like, oh!
I'll be like that.
No.
I'll be like that, the FBI agent, meme. Or CIA agent. Yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I saw a meme of that once and it was just like, as soon as a female rapper says, my pussy, and he's like, oh! Yeah. That one I thought was pretty good, because these female rappers, though, they do that. They're always like, want to rap about their fucking dirty cooch. And I'm like, okay.
I will say...
That's cool, man. That's cool. It's half your music.
I will say Cyberpunk has moved me more over to first-person shooters. But also, I think that's mainly because that game's immersive as fuck.
Yeah, so I'm glad that might be the gateway for you, slowly but surely. We'll get you playing Call of Duty one of these days.
No, but you're absolutely right. First-person shooter, first-person perspective. Yeah, the gun. It's like, oh!
Yeah, as soon as you see the gun on the screen, you're like, damn it! Oh, now I can't play it. You've ruined it.
Though I did enjoy Mullet Magic, but that's frantic boomer shooter, so bit different.
Yeah, it's very arcadey as well, which is great. I loved it. Especially after beat all your times.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's like
they were pretty close though. I wasn't much ahead of you. It's probably a couple of seconds.
No, you were like 5 minutes ahead of me.
Yeah. Most levels took like 45 seconds, and somehow I was 5 minutes ahead of Steven.
Yeah, you're lapping me.
Yeah, your Ninja Gaiden scores were way better than mine though, so don't worry about it.
Difference is we both enjoy Mullet Magic.
Yes, dude, fantastic game.
Fantastic game.
Highly recommend. Next game was Musa Dirty Fate. So this is releasing in 2027. It's a third-person action game. Maybe a roguelike. Not roguelike, Souls-like, that one. The other likes I like. And this is set in 17th century Korea. So we haven't seen a lot of them in Korea, but we've seen a lot of games in this era in Japan and China, and they're like, and I'll be honest, when I first saw it, I was like, this is another one set in like old China, and I was like, no, it's Korea. I'm like, okay, it's a little different. I know as well that sounds bad, but it's, what do you mean a little different? You gotta look at the buildings and stuff, and the architecture is very similar from that era. Japan, Korea, China, they were building some real similar looking buildings. It'd be like looking at England in Ireland and Scotland in the same era and being like, these buildings look similar. Yeah, no shit.
Yeah.
You know. So yeah, but I think this looks pretty cool. You could tell from the trailer it was pretty early. It was not in anywhere near.
It looked a
release
bit
date.
choppy.
Yeah, and that's fine. It's releasing in 2027, so you know they've got time to get it done. You see that there's a plague causing people to lose their minds and kind of slowly turn into like zombie-like creatures. And I'm interested. Like I need to see more. It needs a bit more time in the oven. You know, but I'm interested.
See, my dumb brain and the phrasing of this, and it's just as soon as I saw this, I was like, oh, how do you pronounce it? Unimusha? I was just like, oh, another trailer for Unimusha, and then when it didn't see Capcom or anything, it's like, oh, another one.
Yeah.
Nothing wrong with that.
Like I said, there's a lot of these games set in like not necessarily 17th century, but this kind of time window. Yeah, like that feudal Japan and I don't know if they call it feudal China and feudal Korea, but that kind of era in these other Asian countries. And I still think they look cool, but we're gonna hit a point very soon where it's all too much. I feel like, you know, like we've had the Neo games, which are great as well. Sekiro, which my goat. There was Rise of the Ronin, which I think was also the Neo devs. We had Wu Chang, Fallen Feathers, which I really like. That game was really, really good. That one's in China. There was Wolong Dynasty, which was, I believe, set in China. I think there was also the Neo devs. They did put out a lot of games, apparently. Yeah, that one was China because they had like characters like Lubu and things like that in it as well. A little different, but Black Myth Wukong, but still set in China and based on Chinese mythology. We have a lot of these types of games now. There is an absurd amount coming out. So if people are over it, I get it, but I do think this looks decent, has potential.
Having said that, like saying, oh, there's a lot of these like feudal samurai games coming out. For years, we've had the setting being just fantasy, medieval times.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. I mean, a lot of the Souls games. I think Neo 1 also has some of that as well.
Dragon's Dogma, you could almost say Elder Scrolls to an extent, like setting that sort of medieval. So maybe
Kingdom Come Deliverance as well. Yeah, we have two of those. There's been a lot. There's that Tainted Grail. There has been a heap as well. To be fair,
maybe we're just noticing more because it's these games coming out in a smaller time window.
No, I think we are really getting more of them over time. I think it's become popular. Like we've got Phantom Blade Zero coming out next year. Later this year, which looks good. It's a similar type of game as well. And then their Game Freak game, the Beast of Reincarnation, as well, coming out this year. So we are getting a lot. I mean, that Beast of Reincarnation's a little different because it is kind of like that, but it's also like there's robots and overgrown. You know what? Beast of Reincarnation actually seems like the most unique out of a lot of these games. So
yeah,
I say I'm interested anyway, but I understand if people are feeling fatigued by these types of games.
Though to Beast of Reincarnation, thing I do like is when games do era mashups. Like, it looks like it's feudal Japan, but there's robots.
Yeah, I do think that works pretty well, at least from what we're seeing on the trailers. The next game was The Eternal Life of Goldman, coming in 2026. So this is a 2D platformer. I thought it had a great art style. It's looking like an old like Western comic strip. Is kind of the vibe I got from the art style. This character's bouncing around on a cane as well. Looks really, really mobile. Looks like there's pretty big boss fights. Some of these look pretty tough as well. I thought this game looks excellent. I'm super interested in this.
I think it looks awesome. I will say one thing though. I was like, oh yeah, interesting. The guy's name's Goldman, and he has a little tiny hat. But the precision jumping, like it looks. I also love the fact that like the narrator is like shitting on him. He's being like, "How can an feeble old man do all these feats?" And just showing him doing cool shit.
See the demo. I'm gonna download it. Okay, let's do it. I'll check it out. Yeah, definitely one of the for me one of the best looking games of the show. To be honest.
Yeah, though the box art or the splash image they showed at the end does not match the in-game sprite because the splash image he looks fucking badass.
Yeah. It's almost it's got like that older game energy about that splash art as well. There's almost like a Sonic the Hedgehog kind of era. Like, look how cool he is. There's that kind of vibe there, which is that's fine. Next game, Vaunted. So it's a third-person shooter. So one of the characters they show first, like hooning around on a jetpack, and you're blowing up parts of the environment. So you're blowing up these pillars to like crash down on enemies and stuff. Looks like different characters have their own different abilities. Like one has like a turret they could throw out. One of them casts magic, and looks like you could mind control enemies as well. Some big boss fights in there. It looks like as well you level up and you can choose from different abilities and things like that to pivot into. I think this looks cool. I think this looks up my alley. It looks like a game though that you'd see it and go, oh, this looks like a multiplayer game, and it seems to be single player. But
I thought it was multiplayer at a first glance.
It's got that vibe, but you know the Steam page and it said single player, and I thought, okay, we'll see anyway. But coming out later this year, I like it. I like how it looks. Seems like it plays well. Yeah, interested. You got any interest in it?
I'll wait for you to play it and form my opinion around yours.
Dude, there's like who was it with the DLSS 5 Digital Foundry, and they said, oh yeah, we should have actually waited to see what the community thought about this before we put out our thoughts. And you're like,
what?
No, you should have put it. Your thoughts should be your own.
Yeah.
But I know with this for us, it's like I could play it and I'll be able to tell you if I think you'd like it.
Yeah.
Because we know what each other's tastes are like generally. So delicious. So Hades 2 is coming to Xbox and PS5 April 14th. So right around the corner. So pretty cool. So it's a third-person action roguelike and just an all-round good time. We have both finished it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, just an excellent game. There's not really anywhere that it's bad. Like, I think I liked the story a bit more on the first one. Doesn't mean the story's bad in this one, but the visuals, the gameplay, the music, it's near perfect.
The weapon aspects.
Yeah, just the replayability with the different builds you can do as well with
different animal
weapons.
Familiars.
Yeah, just excellent game. So if you're on Xbox or PS5, if you're anywhere, I think it's on the Switch as well. Switch 2, PC, fucking pick it up. You won't be disappointed. It's a banger. And the last game, Artificial Detective, releasing in 2027. So this is a third-person action game with some stealth elements. You're playing as like a robot detective, and you've got like a human child with you. You see this half robotic deer as well, and then there's like these Rubik's cubes of death, and then I wrote nano machines.
Son.
I need to see a little bit more of this, but I think this looks really cool so far. Super intriguing. Art style looked good.
I'm quite looking forward to this.
Yeah.
Yeah, it looks like it's going to have
ticked a lot of the boxes, eh?
Looks like it's going to have a good narrative to it. Also, it's kind of cool how when you think about it, it's almost like reverse Pragmata. You're the android robot.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna say I was gonna leave it for later, but I may as well mention it now. I was like, yeah, I'm gonna day one Pragmata. I think I'm too hooked on Marathon to play anything else.
Did it release?
No, not yet. But it's not far away now. But I'm like, man, I don't know if I'm gonna have time because whenever I've got spare time for games right now, I just want to play Marathon. Releases on the 17th, so it's from this going live. It's about a week away. So we'll see. We'll see. If I feel like I got the time, I might still pick it up. But goddamn it, man, Marathon's got me by the balls.
Got me by the plums.
Feel deep in my plums. Yeah. So that was the there's a showcase. Anyway, it's because it's the partner showcase, so it's not like a massive one. It's good. Our predictions were completely wrong. Or I say something by Capcom. Oh, I thought they were going to show Pragmata again. Because that's what Capcom's been doing. What did you say? Do you remember?
I can't remember, but I want to say Stranger Than Heaven. Because that's always been my guess.
I don't believe you. I don't think you said that. We're gonna have to pull it up, Stephen.
My two safe bets are Stranger Than Heaven and Virtua Fighter 6.
Oh yeah. Yeah, actually, your one is not on the dock.
I'm pretty sure it was James Bond. It was the James Bond game.
That's right. Yeah. It was too. Yeah. Yeah, that's fine.
Because each time I'll just be like, Stranger Than Heaven. Stranger Than Heaven. Fucking Aston Martin, fucking James Bond. Nope.
The one time you pivot.
Yeah.
You zigged when you should have zagged.
Yeah.
So we got a little news. A little news here for you. A little something will just whet your whistle, whet your whistle. Borderlands 4 is facing backlash over a $30 USD DLC that you can finish in 2 hours called Mad Alley and the Vault of the Damned. Which, I mean, I actually like that name for the Borderlands DLCs because they were always they would do like a silly DLC and then there'd be like a serious DLC a lot of the time. Like they had the zombie one, I can't remember the name of it anymore because that game released like fucking 15 years ago. But that one didn't blow me away, but it was a fun thing, and that was pretty early days for DLC. But anyway, $30 USD. So here it'd be like $50 to finish it in 2 hours. I know as well some people might think that was a great 2 hours. They might think they got their money's worth, but I'm a believer you got to vote with your wallet. If you don't think this seems like it's worth your while, don't buy it. Don't give in. Don't cave. Just let Gearbox know, hey, do better if you want to get my money.
Only and do the thing when something's overpriced and you're on Steam. Chuck it on the wish list. Let it gather dust, and as soon as it goes down to a reasonable price, then nab it. Not a moment sooner.
Diamond hands, baby. Diamond hands.
Yeah.
Gonna fucking wait. Like I do the Mass Effect trilogy, mate. $10. Whew, easy. The remaster trilogy. I still haven't played it. But look, whenever I want to play it, mate, it's there. After the Epic Games layoffs recently, when they laid off 1,000 people, it was noted that one of the employees who was laid off had terminal cancer and they'd lost their insurance. So Epic Games has reached out to them and they've said, we will solve the insurance for them. they also mentioned, given the confidentiality, that they didn't want to be saying too much publicly about it, which I think is fair enough. I completely get that. So good on them for doing that. Like, yes, I think that they should do this.
Yeah.
I think when you lay off 1,000 people, you're probably not looking into every single little thing of, oh, is this person terminally ill? I think it was just they laid off 1,000 people to, give them the benefit of the doubt. In this case, I don't think they're just being malicious assholes there to, this guy's terminally ill, let's lay him off. Yeah. So it's nice that they are going to make it right anyway, which is good. Good to see.
I also like, at least given from this little snippet, how upfront they were. It wasn't like decorated language, or something. They were like, "Oh yeah, we'll take care of that."
Yeah.
But it's also going to be a matter between us and him, us and the person. That's all we need to say about it.
Yeah, it's not our business at the end of the day, right? It's just we are going to make it right, and that's all you need to know. I'm like, cool, I'm happy with that. It'd be a different story if the person comes in and says, yeah, they didn't do this shit. You'd be like, fuck them. But no, I'm happy. I'm happy with that. It's good to see that there is action happening around it. US Patent Office has removed Nintendo's 2025 patent on. I also called it a patent and then a patent. I need to be consistent
Patent.
with that. Pan. Done. On patent on summoning characters to battle on players' behalf. This is the same patent cited in Nintendo's lawsuit against Power World. So Nintendo has 2 months to appeal this, and this weakens Nintendo's position, but it doesn't mean the lawsuit is over. We said at the time as well that we think Nintendo was overstepping with this patent. I just don't think that, summoning characters to battle on players' behalf and stuff. It's too vague. You can't patent that.
Yeah.
At the end of the day, and I'm glad America's like, yeah, you can't do this. I still think they do have a leg to stand on when it comes to a lot of the Power World stuff, but some of it they do, some of it they don't. I think it's actually is one of those things that, as much as Nintendo's probably in the right, it's a lawsuit that I think is better that they are the best interest in games and gamers if they don't win it.
Yeah.
I think then it sets a precedent. Like, maybe then it's like, oh, you can't Monster Hunter stories, too bad. You're taming these monsters and using them to battle. Maybe that's too much. Or Persona stuff. I don't know.
I mean, I could get them being like, hey, we don't like capturing monsters with a two-tone sphere.
Yeah.
But the whole summoning monsters to fight, it's like, I hope the judge just gets their gavel. It's like, ding, 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 you're greedy.
Yeah. I don't even think they were the first to do it either. So I think it'd been done before them. Yeah, but they definitely popularized it. I mean, for the Power World thing, it's like a lot of these are just blatant rip-offs of their designs, their IP. I think that's the part that's more egregious there.
I think
it's just we need something to get them. We need a win in some regard.
I would say Nintendo with the monster summoning, I'll liken it to Dave Lombardo from Slayer with the double kick. He didn't invent the double kick, but he popularized it.
Yeah. Dude, you know that David Bowie did the moonwalk before Michael Jackson did?
Did not know.
But who popularized it?
Yeah.
Who's best known for the moonwalk? It is Michael Jackson.
And they're both dead.
Wait, what?
What? They moonwalked off out of this atmosphere.
Start typing in, and this is how I find out that Michael Jackson died.
No, that's the one that you're like, wait, what? Michael Jackson's dead. What?
Dude, I grew up in a household that loves David Bowie, so I'd very much know if David Bowie was alive or dead. Michael Jackson, though, we weren't a Michael Jackson household.
I remember when Michael Jackson died, I was like, Oh, that sucks. Talented singer, bit of a weirdo, and one of my mates was like, "Oh, I kind of regret saying all those diddler comments about him before." I was like, "I don't. They were fun in the moment."
Yeah, that's the thing. You're working with the information at the time. It's really interesting because there's that documentary about him, right? And they were like, look at this, all this evidence and stuff, right? About him diddling. And then they were like, yeah, he molested this child between these years at this area called the station at his ranch, right? They were like, this is what happened. And then so much of it has been debunked. They were like, the ranch wasn't built until 2 years after then. Like, well, this part wasn't built until then. You know, and there was like something out of like 4 of these major claims, like out of 5 of them got completely debunked. And you're like, it feels extra weird, like when I feel like, sure, we'll never know if it happened or not, but it feels weird like that. Even after he's dead,
Yeah,
stuff's being disproven, and like, why are you slandering this dead man if like
money.
if it didn't happen? That's what I think is a payday. Like Macaulay Culkin said, he was like, I went around there many times and he never did anything to me, and you know, so I don't know, man. I don't know. Don't have a horse in that race. If it happened, that's terrible. But to quote Bill Gates about Jeffrey Epstein, well, he's dead now. I always found that's so weird. I know we're off on a massive tangent here, but they were like, how do you feel about your relationship with Jeffrey Epstein? You know, what happened there? He's like, oh, well, he's dead now. You're like, excuse me? Yeah, so video games. Capcom has re-released a bunch of old games on Steam and GOG. Here are the Steam releases have got Enigma DRM attached to them. And I just think it's a weird decision for these games that are like nearly 30 years old. You know? We don't need the DRM on there. You're just gonna like, and I know that the games probably don't run bad with the DRM, like a lot of them do, because they're old games. You can probably run them on, you know, a PC that's not particularly grunty, but I'm like, if people want to play these games, you could just whip out a PS1 emulator and play them. Just don't try to make it just unappealing to buy these games. You know, come on, Capcom. What are we doing?
It's all good to make money on your older stuff by releasing them on Steam. It's like, just don't insult your audience.
Yeah. Yeah, like we've seen games in the past where it's like someone manages to crack the game and then they look and they're like, man, the pirated version of this game, it runs 30% better because it doesn't have this shitty DRM weighing it down. And then at that point, shouldn't you just remove the DRM? You're like, it's already been cracked, right? You're like, whatever. And Capcom's been pretty bad at this recently. Capcom have made a lot of good decisions in recent years. But stuff like this, you're like, man, what are we doing? This isn't saying as someone who wants to pirate this stuff, because I don't want to. And I'd rather people buy it.
Yeah.
But you can already play it on an emulator, all these games. I believe on GOG they are DRM free though. That would be the platform to buy them. I don't buy a lot of GOG games, but I do like the platform. So, yeah, because you're a fan of one of these games they released, weren't you, Stephen? One of these.
Yeah. Obviously, I'll speak about it more in games we've been playing, but I just happened to go on to Steam on random Thursday, and I see the Breath of Fire 4 cover out. I was like, huh? Saw it's $14 down to $7. I was like, that's hardly money. Of course I'm grabbing it. And like on my old computer, I had like a PlayStation 1 emulator just for that game.
And you were like, it's time.
Yeah. And so, no, mean.
Hell yeah. Yeah, I was just looking at it. It is an art style of the era, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's very nostalgic. Steam Deck 2 is rumored to be targeting a 2028 release. Sounds like the RAM prices will have to drop a bit before then, before they're really going to pull the trigger. But cool to see that. Obviously, it's been enough of a success for them to look at doing another one. So my assumption, either they'll do a lower end, just an LCD one, and have that, and like if they do the same as they did this time and have like a low, mid, and like a high end kind of version, but I imagine maybe the lowest end will be an LCD and the other two will be OLED. But OLED uses less power, so you want the OLED because it's got better battery life as well. So that's an interesting thing. Or maybe they just do two. Maybe they do an LCD and an OLED, and not do like a mid range one. Don't know. We'll have to see. We'll be back to talk to you about it in 2028. The rumor as well is possibly an ARM-based chip to be running it, which would be very interesting. Because Apple's had a lot of success on ARM as well, so we'll see. It's a long way out. Maybe it doesn't happen as well. Who knows? Steam is developing an FPS estimator feature to predict a game's FPS based on your hardware, which is awesome. That's great news. We love to see that. It's just to have a look on Steam and you're like, oh, can I run this game? And you look and it tells you, yeah, mate, you'll hit fucking, you'll hit 60 frames on this. You go, wicked. Fantastic news.
Good news.
Yeah, I had another bit of news, and I feel like it's disappeared from the doc. So I'm just gonna pull it up over here, and so New York wants to cut. They want to cut a Counter-Strike's loot box economy on Steam. Essentially, officials argue the game's paid case openings amount to gambling, as players spend real money for randomized skins with real resale value. And I get what they're saying. It is actually fairly gambly, to be honest. I completely understand. But trading cards as well, like the same thing. I feel like if you're going to come for Valve, you kind of have to come for the trading cards as well.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm not saying I want that because I don't, but something that I think is cool about this versus if you buy other digital items in certain games and stuff, like if I buy a League of Legends skin, right? Yes, I didn't have to randomly roll it. I can't sell that skin though. That's forever on that. Or a Fortnite skin, right? I've got that. Yes, it doesn't have the randomness, but you can't sell that. I actually think that's way cooler that I can sell it. I think that's cooler because I've made, I don't know, how much? $1,500 on selling, more than that actually. Probably like $1,800 selling Counter-Strike skins, you know? So I'm a little biased there. But yeah, I mean, it's the same as, like I say, trading cards. You open a pack, there's something of value in there, and then you can sell it or you can keep it. Hearthstone, for example, or the Magic the Gathering PC version, you open packs and you can't sell them, and you get randomized items. Isn't that worse for consumers? Yeah. Doesn't promote gambling, but just from a consumer perspective, I think that's way worse. You've got items that have no monetary value that you've spent money on that you can't do anything with. So personally, I'm more in favour of that, but maybe they need to have a relook at their loot box system for Counter-Strike. Indie Pass has been announced, so $7 USD a month. You get over 70 plus titles to play. Revenue is distributed based on player time spent in each game to the developers, which I think is really cool. But I had a look. I couldn't see anything truly notable in there. I couldn't see any super notable games. They're like real indie titles, which is fine. And at $7 a month USD, you might get a few more people interested, but I don't know, man. They look like a lot of itch.io games, which is It's not necessarily a bad thing, but so many of these games are cheap enough that I'd rather just buy the game outright
Yeah.
instead of $7 a month. I don't know who this is for, really. Unless you're someone who just likes variety. Like, you love variety. All you want is variety. And you love niche indies. But I don't know about this, man. Game Pass for indies. I mean, Game Pass actually has a lot of indie games on it, too. So.
Yeah. I mean, yeah. Unless you're... Nah, I had a quick scroll through and I was like,
I was in the same boat. As someone who loves indie games, I'd rather just buy them outright.
Yeah.
In that regard. Apex Legends developer Respawn is going on a ban spree. In 1 week, they banned over 70,000 cheaters on PC and 3,000 on console. Also, to nobody's surprise, there's way more cheaters on PC. This is great for the health of the game, though. And I hope that Marathon stays paid to keep cheaters out. I know that they could cast the net way wider if they made the game free to play, but just knowing how much it opens you up to cheaters, because you get someone who goes in for free, they cheat, they get banned, they create a new account, and they get back on. I don't want to be dealing with cheaters in my games, man. That's so many cheaters. 73k cheaters banned in the span of a week. So shout out to Respawn for at least trying to address that, because yeah, I've found many cheaters in Apex Legends in my day. Nvidia has new tech called Neural Texture Compression that cuts down on VRAM usage. One demo showed textures that went from 6.5 gigs down to 970 megs.
Damn.
That's roughly 7 times less memory being used, which is great news. The textures will load faster, need less video memory, so game performance should just go up. Ultimately, we'll have to see what it's like once it's actually released for the masses. But on paper, it sounds really good. And I didn't see any talk of AI, but maybe they have used AI in the process. I don't know. But just from the outside perspective so far, if I get more frames and don't notice any issues, I'm for it. The Roblox, it turns out, has more players than all of Steam and PS5 combined. In 2025, there were more than 10 billion hours spent per month on Roblox and roughly 150 million players a day. That's fucked. That's completely fucked. It's crazy that for most quarters, Roblox also loses money. Last I checked, they were just losing money. It's like, we lost $1 billion this quarter, or $100 million, or whatever, right? But they were losing I'll have to actually look at some point, because those numbers were probably way too high. They probably aren't losing that much, but they are losing a lot of money. And I think part of it is they pay out a lot of creators for making. There's a lot of like creator generated content, like user generated content stuff, and they pay the creators, which is great. I think that's really cool, but they probably need to figure out their monetization a little better, because they've got that many players. You need to find out how to properly make money, and you've also got to find out how to remove diddlers from your game too, because they don't seem like they've got a real hard stance on that. They've seemed to be pretty lenient on that. They'll let anyone in there. They'll let Michael Jackson in the lobby, Matt.
Didn't they?
I know. I've 180'd, Stephen. I've got to play. I'm playing both sides, so I always come out on top.
Didn't they ban a guy from Roblox for exposing a predator?
They did.
Weird.
They did, yeah. Yeah. So
odd.
Very bizarre. I'm sure there was probably some like, oh, he broke terms of service. Okay. Did that diddler break terms of service? I don't know. Is diddling against your rules? Actually, it's within the rules.
Protected class.
If you look at our EULA, in-user license agreement, you'll see here that diddling okay. Obviously, that is a joke. That I'm sure that is not in the end user license agreement. I haven't read it, so I can't be 100% sure, but I'm pretty confident that's not in there. I'm just saying. I don't want to hear from the Roblox lawyers. Those big square fucks, bro. So, interesting though, that because Roblox is one of those things that you don't even realize how big it is until you hear how many fucking users.
Yeah, because I remember in the early days of like Roblox, it's like this game looks like we have Lego at home. I was like, this.
Yeah, they made Minecraft way uglier.
Yeah, but yeah, apparently one of the appeals to Roblox is people being able to create like games inside it.
Yeah, some of them as well. My boss did show me because he got hooked on it because his kids were playing it. And some of them looked kind of good, but they'll make rip-off of everyone else's game. So you like they have a complete rip-off of like Halo Infinite and stuff like that. They'll have a complete rip-off of Counter-Strike, and it's like very blatant. Yeah, I've got a visitor, young Jim, well, old Jim, little old lady. She's a dog for the record.
Oh, gal.
Just so everyone knows. I don't just have some little old lady crawling around my house.
Wearing a collar.
Yeah. Yeah, look. I'm not some kind of sick and twisted freak.
Drinking from a bowl.
Bark for me. So, Mass Effect TV show has been ordered to rewrite scripts and make them, quote, more appealing to non-gamers. And look, hear me out. You're trying to make a show to appeal to the masses, right? I'm not saying you should do the Halo show and just go, yeah, we're going to completely... Master Chief is going to spend almost no time with his helmet on. You're going to see his bare ass cheeks. You know, we're going to have Master Cheeks up in this bitch.
Master Cheeks.
But I think that... Yeah, it's... Like, as well, Halo, though, I knew people who were not fans of the games that actually really enjoyed the show. So it's a weird one. You still need to make the show broad enough that non-Mass Effect fans can enjoy it, but you also want to make it appeal to the fans. I think Fallout's a great example. I think they did both. I think though the New Vegas fans are some of the softest gaming fans of all time, where they would complain about literally fucking everything. Oh, this one little thing is out of place. Terrible show. Oh, like, you know. And some of it seemed like fair criticism, but some of it was just people just complaining for the sake of complaining. Yeah, it's just... I'm okay as long as they don't just try to rewrite it so much that you make it so, like, unrecognizable from the games. Don't do that. What we need to do is get old Scrippler to watch it and get his feedback. As the big Mass Effect fan, we'll need his opinion on it.
So we can form ours based around his.
Well, he's got a lot more experience with Mass Effect. I've got 8 hours in the first game.
I mean, your wee guy on the shelf's wearing a Mass Effect jacket.
Yeah, because that's little Scripp. No, it's not because I'm a fan of Mass Effect. That's because he's a fan.
And we're a fan of him.
Yeah. Yeah. So, Take-Two has laid off its entire AI team and head of AI. So just maybe something they don't see a future in for themselves. Maybe they're like, we don't need to be the leaders in this. But I think as well, a studio that big, a publisher that big, obviously they publish Grand Theft Auto. They're probably like, look, handcrafted experiences are where they want to be, and they don't want to be muddying the waters with AI. Which, fair enough. Maybe they'll have other people that will develop tools and they won't focus on it themselves. Maybe they won't touch it. Time will tell.
Just because everyone's dipping their toes into AI doesn't mean you have to do it.
Yeah, you don't have to be a leader in it either. You can use other people's developed tools and platforms and stuff anyway as well. So, I get that. But we'll see. We'll see. This I thought was interesting. Dead by Daylight developers say the key to live service success is to start a game by not making to start by not making a live service game. Yeah, I butchered that. I'm going to start it over. Dead by Daylight developers say the key to live service success is to start by not making a live service game. Nailed it. One and done. I agree and disagree. Right. I think that I think the most important thing is making a good game at its core, right? And I'm sure that's part of what they're saying. The game has to be good, regardless. But in this climate right now, if you're making a game that you want to live on forever, if you do not have a content strategy and you are not constantly updating the game, your game is going to die. Very, very few games. Like back in the day, you could get away with it. You could do Team Fortress 2 and it have fuck all updates because it had a player base and it was just not from that era of live service. And technically, if you look back, it was a live service game, but it wasn't a very common thing. But right now, like Fortnite just needs to keep tuning out content because if they don't, people are going to go play something else. You have to have both. The game, the most important thing, like I say, is that the game is good, first and foremost. But you do need to develop it with live service in mind as well. That's the nature of the beast right now. Do you play many service games, Stephen?
No, not really.
Yeah. Currently I'm playing Marathon, which of course is a service game, but I played Hearthstone for fucking, what's that now, 11, 12 years, however long it's been out. It's a service game right there. Here's a new card expansion. Yeah. Dude, I was playing it before, just while I was like typing up for the doc, and I'm like, fucking love this shit. And just when you think you get stale, new big expansion releases, and you're like, you got me. Definitely one of my little unwind kind of games. The Xbox Allies had a price drop, so this is the base version, not the X. So they're dropping it by 100 USD, which is a pretty sizable amount. Well, pretty much all other hardware's going up. It's nice to see one product is dropping in price, which is great. The rumor is that Microsoft may have waived the Windows license fees on them, which makes a lot of sense because that's how you could free up. They probably get them for less than that, but close to $100. So yeah, I mean that's obviously benefit of Steam Deck is that they don't need to pay anyone to license an operating system because it's just we're using Steam OS. Doesn't cost us anything to license it to ourselves. Yeah, some good news, and maybe the other thing is they're trying to sell through stock because maybe they're not selling. Don't know. Didn't stop them for the Xbox Series X and Series S to put the prices up when they hadn't sold through stock as well. So the post-apocalyptic extraction shooter, The Cube, Save Us. Also, if it was just called The Cube, cool name. The Cube, Save Us. Nah. It's been shut down after 3 weeks on the market. I'd seen nothing about this game. I see it's being shut down. I'm like, oh, this actually looks kind of cool. I actually think it looks quite fun. But it is hard out here in these live service streets. It just is like... It is a shame to see a game closing down in 3 weeks, but that's also unfortunately the thing about live service. If you just release a game, you can put it out there. It's out there forever. Live service is it's there. You got to keep funding it. Okay, so The Cube is a game that's coming out by Mundfish, who are the guys that did what's the game called? Yeah, Atomic Heart. So they've already got a game called The Cube that's coming out. So that makes sense. Why that is they couldn't have that name anyway. But yeah, it's mostly negative on Steam. It's got 395 reviews and it's 33% positive. So it probably wasn't quite
Up to par.
yeah, probably not up to standard. But I say that the gameplay of it was kind of fun, man. I don't know. It might need a little more time in the oven, but sometimes as well, you've only got so much time to get a game out there, you know. So it's a shame, but you know, it's hard. It's hard in this climate. And you chose probably the riskiest genre to get into right now.
Sweaty, but also somewhat niche.
Yeah, absolutely. Gunzilla, who had brought Game Informer in March of 2025, has been accused of not paying developers for their NFT Battle Royale game called Off the Grid. And obviously this is currently hearsay. We don't have any hard proof of this. It is just a few developers saying that, so most likely is true. But go on, bro, pay your fucking developers. I feel like as well we're going to see Game Informer die a second death. So yeah, unfortunate, but come on, bro, you can't be pulling this shit, man.
Yeah.
Hey, you goddamn devs.
Do the
If true.
Do the bare minimum obligation.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. It makes you wonder as well if you're a developer at one of these places, because I guess the problem is you might be like, oh, I'll just leave, but then you might not get paid out let's say it's 2 months, the 2 months salary that you're owed if you leave. So you might be like, oh, I'll stay because then I need to get back paid that money they owe me. Maybe that's the mindset as well. But Nick Offerman has joined the cast of the Elden Ring film. I was like, what?
Nick Offering.
So, Nick, I did right. Offering. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you for shaming me in front of this Chris. Yeah. This is being directed and written by Alex Garland, who directed the Civil War film and recently co-wrote 28 Years Later films, which I saw and I thoroughly enjoyed. I thought they were really good. 28 Years Later, I haven't seen Civil War. But yeah, I just thought, oh shit, they've got a big name attached. Interesting. I was kind of hoping they wouldn't, so I don't want to recognize anyone. I just want to, I don't have high hopes for this movie, but maybe they can pull something off. Sounds like he's a big fan of Elden Ring, so maybe it's something good. Peak developers called out entitled gamers who want endless free updates. There's a quote, and they said, Peak has had so many updates, though. Neither us or AgroCrab are live service studios. Any update is a bonus, not a right. I can see what you're saying. Like, you're not paying a lot for these games, for one, right? So you're not paying $100 for these games. Like, New Zealand is $100. What is the price of Peak? And I just heard Dave was saying, you can't put a price on Peak. So normally Peak is $12 New Zealand, right? It's hardly money. Right now it's $7.43. If you are like expecting unlimited updates in a game that cost you $7.50 essentially, bro, come on now. You got to be reasonable. It's good to see if these games get updates and add things as they go, but they didn't sell this game to you for $100.
No.
You have to have reasonable expectations. Maybe they look at adding, here's some add-ons or something, or maybe some paid skins or something, but maybe they don't want to do that. So, yeah, I completely understand. So, yeah. And Friend Slot for me is designed like you play these games at most a dozen times and you move on to something else. But for us, a lot of time, we do 3 or 4 sessions and we move on to something else and then we come back to them later.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, at the price point, you can't expect that. It's too much. Alright, let's get into the games we're playing. So, I still have Game Pass, paid up until October. So, Super Meat Boy 3D. I've given it a go. and I can tell you right now, compared to the first one, this doesn't have the sauce. I think as well, time and place. This game would have hit if it released like 8 years ago, I think. But we've kind of moved on since then. The soundtrack is fine, but Super Meat Boy 2D. I hate now I've got to call it Super Meat Boy 2D. Soundtrack is fucking exceptional. Danny B, that guy fucking killed it. The soundtrack's phenomenal. It is very much the same kind of formula as the first one. It's just you got your little map when you're going. The first one is obviously a 2D plane. This is like a 3D. You can run around the little area to get to your next level and so on. But same kind of layout. You go on your level. You get your bandage to unlock your other characters. But something about this art style is a little uncanny for 3D, and I don't think it's bad. It's just the first one's exceptional. I think it's a truly like masterpiece. 2D platforming. The art is incredible. Just looks perfect. Just truly fantastic. This does the same thing. Like you see all the parts where you died. So the replay just runs through the level and you see all your characters die. But it worked better in the 2D for me personally. Yeah, I don't have heaps to say about it. I played through the entire first set of levels and played through the Dark World versions of it. So when you beat a level under par and you get your bandages and that as well, you can do a Dark World version. It's just that same level but harder. And I've got A+ times on all the Dark World levels in the first set as well as just the regular levels in the first set of levels. And I was like, I don't think I need to go further with this game. It's fine. I might pick it up again at some point, but didn't blow me away.
That's unfortunate.
Yeah. And I think as well, part of the visual thing is that Edmund McMillan is no longer part of Team Meat. Hasn't been for a very long time. Funny that he started Mugenics under Team Meat, and he had to get the rights to Mugenics back to do it himself. But it wasn't going to happen without him ultimately. So yeah, it's Mugenics. Current game of the year for me. So the next game is Slay the Spire 2. So it is Slay the Spire 1 plus. It is very good. I was pretty good at Slay the Spire 1. I knew what I was doing. Slay the Spire 2, I'm like, this game is really fucking hard. What the fuck? I was really struggling. But this is a roguelike deck builder game. You've got 5 characters to choose from, and it sounds like 4 characters, sorry. It sounds like they've got plans to do more characters as we go. So you've got to go through 3 acts essentially, and each time you win a battle, you'll get a card to add to your deck. There's little rest spots you can heal. There's chests that you can open to get. They call them artifacts. So one of them might be if you use 3 attacks in a turn, gain 4 armor. At the start of this, an enemy will have vulnerable, which means you hit them for more damage. So yeah, you can be putting statuses vulnerable or weak. So the enemies will do less damage to you. You can hold as standard, but you can get more potion slots. You can hold 3 potions, so they'll be have 10 armor or gain 2 attack. For this combat. So every attack you use, you deal 2 more damage. Stuff like that. So I'll give you a little rundown on the characters. So Ironclad, who I find him very easy to play. The strategies with him are because you've got some strategies which are like armor stacking and then cards to deal damage based on your armor. But I just like building strength on him and putting vulnerable on enemies to just do big hits to kill enemies quick. So that's how I like to play him. But yeah, pretty durable. Heals at the end of the rounds as well. So he's the noob character. Silent. So Silent is very combo heavy. There's ones where I like the discard synergies in Slay the Spire 2. But there's ones with shivs, which is just about throwing out a bunch of little bits of damage. There's poison, so it's just damage over time. But yeah, you want to there's a lot you can do to chain things together and do really, really big combos. and you want to just have a bunch of drawers so you can keep cycling through cards, as well as you've got your attacks. You mostly got attacks and defense, and then you've got kind of ones you can play to give you passives, things as well. Defect. So this is an interesting character. I really like Defect. So you've got these 3 orb slots at the start, and the orbs that you will use, you use a card. It's like, oh, you'll get a lightning orb, and then when that fires off, you'll deal 3 damage to them at the end of the turn, which is not a lot, but if you get 3 orbs in there and then you use another one, the orb at the front will fire off, and that'll do, like, if it's a lightning one, will do 8 damage instead. So you want to kind of cycle your orbs through to deal more damage. Some of them will deal damage, like Glass is the new one, will deal damage to all players. Or Plasma, you'll get more mana, because all your cards cost mana. You start with 3 generally, and then you could have, if you've got Plasma, you get more. Frost gives you armor, and Darkness is one that scales. It keeps stacking until you use it. It doesn't damage at the end of the turn, like that, or it doesn't pop at the end of the turn. The way it triggers is that it will scale up more damage until you can get it right to the end of the queue. So this character's like a bit more complicated. Clearly, those other ones, it was pretty easy to explain, but this one, there's a lot more to it. I like this character a lot. Really, really fun. You've got the Necrobinder. This is like a summoner kind of character. You've got a big hand companion that fights with you. There's Osti, and I've found so far what you want to do with him is you want to just keep giving him health. You keep stacking health on this dude, and then you've got a card that will deal more damage based on his health, which I found fun. And he takes the damage for you, so you want to keep stacking health and armor on him. But there's also a status called Doom, and what Doom will do is, let's say a character's got 40 health, and you got them down to 20 health so far. You've got 10 Doom on them. If you get them to 20 Doom, at the end of their turn they will just die because they only had 20 health left. So it's like an insta kill after that kind of point. But you got to slowly stack it up. So that character's been quite fun. That's the one that took me the second longest. And the last character, who I don't have figured out yet, Regent, it's about resource manipulation, and there's a weapon that can like scale. So the resource stuff, you've got an extra kind of currency that you've got to get to use certain cards. So one of them will be like, this costs you 0 mana. You're like, great, but it costs you 2 of these little, I don't know, I can't remember what they call them, stars. It'll cost you these 2 stars. So you've got to make sure that you've got those as well. So you have cards to be scaling up with them, and they're really good attacks, or they'll be like, oh, I gain 10 armor, and it'll cost you 0 mana, but you have to use a star to do it. So you're constantly balancing these 2 resources, which makes them quite complicated. But you've also got another path where you've got cards that say Forge, and Forge grants you this weapon. And you keep using Forge to scale this weapon up to do more damage, because once you use it, the card goes in your deck and you've got to wait for it to cycle through. But that's been a lot of fun trying to make these Forge decks work, because sometimes you'll have cards that are like, you'll just go Forge, 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 and then you're like, oh, this got to hit for 40 damage now. That's fucking huge. So I still have to figure that character out a bit more. It's the one I haven't won with so far, I don't think, but the rest of them I have. Yeah, so you're slowly going through. You got 3 acts, and you fight a boss at the end of each act, and then you'll get some kind of buff. So sometimes it might be like, oh, you might draw 2 more cards at the start of each combat. You're like, well, that's pretty fucking helpful. Or you might get more mana, or sometimes there'll be an upside and a downside. So you're slowly trying to go through, finding your right path to get as strong as you can to try to beat the boss. And then there's Ascension, where there's 20 levels of Ascension where you slowly are upping your difficulty to get to like the top. To get to the spire, if you will, to slay it. And I know if you are not a fan of roguelike deck builders, that was a bunch of fucking mumbo jumbo. But this game's great. It really is just an improvement in every way on the first game. But it's kind of like how they did sequels back in the day. You know, Doom 1 to Doom 2, for example. It's mostly the same game at its core. There's not a huge difference, really. It's like, oh, we got Super Shotgun now. Oh, we've got some new levels. But at their core, they're very, very similar. Other than, of course, new levels. And this is similar as well. It's like, we've got some new characters and some new cards and that. New art style, but it's still pretty much the same as the first, but just better. And the last game I've been playing Marathon. Me and the boys have been playing Marathon. I've been loving it. I've been loving every second. Well, every second of it until me and DT had a bad night and I lost like $20,000 in gear. In-game money, not real money. We just got fucking smoked. I lost everything. She took the house in the divorce. You know, that kind of thing. But we were having a run on this. It's called, I think it's called Outpost. And there's like a really high loot area that I keep forgetting the name. I keep forgetting the fucking name of this area that everyone always gravitates towards. This is a really cool map. This is one of like the more advanced maps. Let me see if Pinwheel. So you got to get this pinwheel right. So this map, you've got all these areas around it, but there's this big pinwheel in the middle, and you've got to find certain keys to be able to unlock the pinwheel to go up there, and that's where the best loot is. But that's also where you're going to find a lot of PvP. And there's a pretty small map. This map also has like fire raining from the sky if you're outside for too long. And it's like it gives you a warning, and you go, "Oh fuck!" So you always try to be inside in these close quarters kind of areas, and everyone brings a fucking shotgun that ruins your day. But yeah, so you get these keys, you go up to Pinwheel, and then once you've unlocked it, it tells everyone Pinwheel has been breached. So everyone's like, "Oh fuck, I'm going up to Pinwheel." So they can take the same way you've gone up. You've gone up the elevator. They can go up through like the elevator shaft. They have to climb their way up, or there'll be a vent they can break their way into to get up there. So once it's open, it's fucking kind of fair game. And we had a moment, we're in Pinwheel, and we're like, one of the first times we're up there, and we're like, oh fuck, shit's gonna hit the fan. Shit's gonna be rough up here. So there's these players, I believe I explained on the last one, these called Rooks. Right, and Rooks, you jump in by yourself. You jump in partway through a run, and you try to upset. You got to be doing 1v3s and all sorts. And we end up in a situation where we see a Rook. One of the boys calls out to him, "How you going, mate?" The guy's like, "Oh yeah, I'm good. Yeah, you go." We're like, "Yeah, good, mate. Yeah." Just start chatting to him. Another Rook shows up. Another team of 3. We're like, "Hey boys, we're just trying to get our quest done." Everyone's like, "Oh, no worries, man. No worries." This is the first time we've experienced this in Marathon because people are not friendly. This is not Arc Raiders. And I was like, this is the boys I was joking. I wasn't going to do it. I was like, what if I just shot this guy in the back? And they're like, "Oh, I would prefer if you didn't." I'm like, I'm not going to. But it was funny. Everyone was just like, "All right, boys. All right, have a good one. Take it easy." Super chill dudes. Real cool. But you almost never hear anyone on the mic. It's everybody's like just sweat mode all the time. So yeah, that was really fun. It's those moments where you're like, this is a special game, man. It's a shame it's not doing as well as I think it deserves, because I really think it is a great game. It's a game that everybody loves to hate right now. It's so fucking overhated for a game that's genuinely very good. So, but it is what it is. So I'm going to be playing some more with the boys tomorrow night, and hopefully I've got another yarn in 2 weeks' time. But I'm sure I will. Have not done Cryo Archive yet because I'm not good enough. But one of these days I will do it. Right, Stephen, what have you got, mate? What have you been playing?
Well, I've been playing Street Fighter 6. Playing my boy Alex. He's just so fun to play. I'll just find that will be my I want to play something before I go to bed, and I'll just do arcade mode with Alex twice. One with his default costume, one with his nostalgia. I just love the way he handles Incesticide. Fix it, Capcom. And so, just one random Thursday, I saw Breath of Fire 4 jump on. I was like, cool, I'm going to buy that instantly. So what I love about Breath of Fire 4, 2D sprites on like a very minimal 3D PlayStation graphics background. Game basically starts off with there's the big bad Lufu. He's the first person who shows off the ability that you can turn into like dragons. So it's cool. He's like at level 60 and stuff. That's cool. Then it cuts to like present time or present day. Girl was on a sandfly with basically just a vehicle to go across the sand. Crashes. They see this big ass dragon in this crate. Then they go over to it. It's a little naked man. He gets some clothes, and that character's name is Ryu. And his ability is he can turn into you can
turn into a bigger naked man.
Yeah. No, basically with the dragon turning into a dragon, you turn into this form where your hair turns white, you grow these little wings, and you can use like special moves like a big ass blast, a move where it's just like you punch multiple times, but then as you progress through the story, you unlock dragon moves, so you will transform into this big dragon to do a massive attack. Combat is interesting because it's your standard turn-based RPG affair, but the way that you learn certain moves, like you'll come across this fire enemy and it'll use a fire spell on you. The way that you learn that is just guard the attack, and then you have an exclamation mark above your head. It's like, oh, you learned fire. Remember when I played it on the emulator, the magic system's real fun, because it's like you have someone cast a fire attack. Next person, you get them to cast an earthquake attack. And then, because you hit them with those two, it's like it combines to make another spell of like volcano or stuff like that. So different elements, you use one after the other, they will do like a combined attack, which is real good. I'm really enjoying it. It's very early days at the moment for a game that I've played like twice and haven't finished. I really want to sink my teeth into it. I'm going to have the guide open because you'll meet people in the world and they're called like masters, and you can learn like special abilities from them. And it's good to like do your character building around those masters. Another thing I'm going to also try to do is in the first area you can buy a lead ball, and basically with that lead ball you go to another town and you trade that, and they'll give it, oh, here's a copper ball. Later on in the game it's like, oh, here's a steel ball, and then it goes to like gold ball. And I missed one location for the lead ball side quest, so I'm not going to let it happen again. Also, the game has mini games like fishing. I like that. Good fun. $7 at the moment. If you want that JRPG nostalgia trip, back when Capcom did like turn-based JRPGs, it's good.
Hell yeah. You been playing anything else?
Nah, basically just Street Fighter before bed. XCOM with you and the boys.
Yeah, the boys.
The boys.
Oh yeah. Hell yeah, brother. Alright, so let's do what we do on Discovery Channel. End with a couple of reviews. So I got Slay the Spire 2. And the review is 10 out of 10. They still haven't fixed the bug that makes my game crash whenever I play the wrong card. So they're saying that they play the wrong card and then they quit and go back into it. So that is, yeah, that's fun. Oh, and that is by
Fluffy Deutsch.
by Fluffy Deutsch. Yeah, fun review. What have you got for me, big dog?
So this is a review of Breath of Fire 4 by Zavalry. This one got me. The review states, I just what? On April Fool's Day is when this gets ported onto Steam. You released this on GOG close to my wedding day, and for the month of my anniversary you put it on Steam. I mean, this is precisely what I wanted, but what a wacky day.
It's fun. We love that. We love a little whimsy in our lives, don't we, Stephen?
Dude, why is that word picking up so much traction? I remember the misso was like, your room lacks whimsy. It's like, what the fuck do you mean?
Look, I want the record to show. I've been saying whimsy for a while now.
Yeah.
I'm a bit of a trendsetter, mate. Actually, so I was at. Also, I want the record to show that back in the day when we had a show, and I said my friend Rio, and Stephen's like, look, our friend. I didn't see you at the wedding, bud.
Yeah.
Hey, I didn't see you at the fucking wedding. Whose friend?
Yeah.
Hey?
Yeah.
Oh, sorry. But I was talking to a couple of people at the wedding about eugenics, and one of the guys was like, oh yeah, I'm interested. Literally the next day I'm looking at Steam, he fucking boots it up. I was like, hey, there we go, look at me, a little taste maker. In your defense, Stephen, there was no one from any of those friend groups at the wedding. It was just me. It was
just you and close friends and family.
Yeah. Oh, and like your current friends.
Yeah.
Like not any of our old friend groups from back in the day. So, yeah. But I just saw back to that moment. I'm like, oh, that's pretty fun.
That was good.
And the words of our friend Jordan, oh, it's funny.
It's funny. That was funny.
All right, so that's going to conclude episode 33 of the No Scrubs podcast. So thanks for hanging out. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, subscribe. Whoa! But it does help out. We do appreciate it. So then we'll catch you on the next one.
Light up.